Hi everyone, it is time for a new video, and as you can see, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll recognize this room. I am visiting my family. I do want to make this like a fall-themed vlog. I've had so many plans for fall, very ambitious, kind of running out of time, but you know, it's fine. It might end up being a little bit chaotic, but my main plan is to read some fall Kindle Unlimited romance. So I've been saving quite a few for a while and I haven't really read any of them. And so I don't want to make this like a super strict only these books video, you know? Like maybe I'll just read a random audiobook or whatever, but that is what I want the focus to be. So I am reading a book that is very interesting and it's called Man-Eater by Emily Antoinette. So this is like not exactly the vibe that I'm going for right now. Like in this moment, I want to read more of the like contemporary fall books, like small town, cozy, you know, fireplace vibes. This one is, however, like a paranormal monster romance. The heroine is a succubus, so I am at like 21%. I do think I'll just tell you about that when I finish it. It does feel quite developed and the writing is nice and I think it's gonna be a fun time. And so that is like the first one, but then I have, like I said, some of the contemporary ones that have just very cute covers. And I'm a little bit nervous because it's like basically all authors that I haven't read from before. And you might know, or if you don't know, I don't actually read that many new authors. I realized that this year especially, that I've been like super, like I did try some authors, but like they were authors that my favorite authors loved or that a lot of people talked about who like I trust. And these authors, in a lot of cases, I just saw the books on posts on Instagram or something, and I don't necessarily know any details. I'm in such a strong reading mood, and yeah. So get excited, get a nice, you know, warm cup of your favorite drink or anything like that. Get comfy because this is going to be a long vlog. And get excited to see my beautiful cats and to just have a wonderful cozy time. Hi everyone, so it is the next day and I don't really have any reading updates yet, but I have a little book haul. I got 2 books today and a bookmark, so I'm going to show that to you. I basically went with my parents and my sister to have sushi at one of my favorite restaurants and we were just like shopping a little bit and we of course had to go to the bookstore and I am super excited about what I got. So the first book, it's actually funny because like my sister first saw it and she was like, that looks like something you would read. And it's actually a book that I do have on my TBR and I really wanted to read, and that is An Echo in the City by KX Song. So how beautiful is this book? I am not sure if I'm gonna read it in this video because like it is not exactly, you know, what the plan is, and I do think there is a video that I want to put this in maybe. Either way, I love this cover so much. That is absolutely what caught my attention the first time. And I just have been loving all of the covers that are like split in the middle. I feel like I mentioned it in a different video. I feel like, I don't know, I just love the contrast. You can do so much with that concept, and I just absolutely love this one and the colors and the characters. And it sounds really cool. And another thing that caught my attention is that Zulfa Katu, one of my like new favorite authors this year, has a blurb here that just says absolutely phenomenal. And so just like, you know what, not exactly detailed, but like I trust her, you know? And so I am very excited for this. It's supposed to be like, one blurb says that it's a love letter to Hong Kong and those shifting transformative years of youth. Read this, you'll walk away changed. And it's supposed to be like quite a lot about politics, and these 2 characters, they accidentally swap phones, and yeah, so I am super excited for this. I feel like it's gonna be something unlike anything that I've read before, and I just feel like it's gonna be amazing. So we'll see when we read this, but I'm so happy to own it. And the other one is a book that is very much fitting for the fall vibes, and that is One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. So here's a bit of you know, context. I actually still don't know if I like Olivia Blake's books. So basically, the first book that I actually read by her is My Mechanical Romance, which most people don't know about, I feel like, or they don't know that it's by Olivia Blake. But it is just like under her either real name or a different pen name. And it is incredible. That is like a YA contemporary romance. Very different from literally everything else that she's ever written. I adore that book, literally one of my favorites. And so since then I've just been like, you know, I need to read her like Olivia Blake books. And I have Alone with You in the Ether and The Atlas Six, and I still have not read them. I just like have been trying to wait for the right moment and whatever, and I'm just like, I just need to dive in. Like, I was so sure I would love them, but then I started like panicking, and I don't know if it's gonna be for me, and I just need to, you know, give it a shot. And this one I think is like the most perfect one for like Halloween. But I'm just like, if there's a time that I should read this, it is right now. You know, it is around Halloween. I also love this cover, and this is like one of the bigger paperbacks that they do for, I think, like international copies of books. And I haven't had a book like this in a while, and I low-key kind of love it. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but it's supposed to be set in New York City. Two rival witch families fight for the upper hand, and dark, ambitious, and engaging, compelling, entertaining, and addictive. So yeah, and that is that. So, and the last thing is the bookmark that is absolutely fucking adorable. Obviously it has a black cat, and it's just like so cute, and I will never have enough bookmarks. Say what you want. Hi everyone, so it is the next day and I am here with a car update. I always take my mom's car when I'm here, and today I was going to therapy, and so I obviously went there alone, and so I went on a little journey to the city. And yeah, I did finish Maneater, and I mean, I have kind of conflicting feelings about it. I think that it is so well written, and the author definitely has so much potential, and I absolutely want to read more of her books. The only thing is, I feel like the dynamic in here did not fully work for me. So it is like a dominant woman, submissive man, monster romance, and it is like a novella. It is steamy and fun, lighthearted. It does feel kind of insta-lovey, and I think that is one thing that didn't fully work for me. And another thing is, felt like some of the dialogue was very repetitive and it went a little bit too far. But that being said, again, I do really want to read more books by this author. I do actually really recommend this if you would like to read a fun, quick to read monster romance novella. It did not go too far into the monster territory. If you're someone like me who doesn't really actually love monster romance that much, I don't love like the monster parts. It's not something that I'm personally into or whatever, but like it is fun. I am here for the paranormal romance vibes. And I did also get bubble tea from a new place, and I actually really like it. It is like I always get the brown sugar milk tea situation. I don't fully like understand. Some people sometimes said there's actually no tea in it, so I don't understand if it's just like the milk and tapioca and the brown sugar. Either way, I do get something a little bit different every time, but I try to aim in that direction. Okay, I had to pause because there's people around in the parking lot, but I did want to talk about something else that is a lot more important than, you know, some fun little monster romance and fall things, which is Palestine. I have been trying to learn as much as possible about the genocide that is happening to Palestinians, not just in Gaza, but in the entirety of Palestine. And It has obviously, if you have seen anything, it has been extremely brutal and disgusting, and I just want to make it clear that I'm always going to be fighting for and supporting Palestine and for their freedom, and I want to talk about it because, like, I just want to remind people that words matter and our actions matter. Ever since I was like a teenager or whatever, I did really want to like help make the world a better place and all of those things, and for a while I feel like I kind of gave up a little bit because I felt like, you know, there's nothing I can do. Like, I don't even have any followers or anything like that, you know? But at the same time, like, you never know who's going to hear it. You never know how far it's going to reach. And the point is, every single voice adds up. Like, even if like no one heard, you know, one specific person, the fact that like everyone is saying something is what actually creates a revolution and all those things. And so a few reminders of what we can all actually do, even when it feels like we're completely powerless, because we are not. And the fact that I can sit here and film this means that I do have some kind of power, even if it is tiny compared to a lot of the powers out there in the world. It is something. And so I just want to first of all point out that I did put some things in the description box. There is an amazing website. If you don't know anything about the history of Palestine, there is an incredible website that like describes so much and gives you a lot of resources, and also some people that you can follow on social media, because there's been so many people talking about like the history, about what you can do, about everything that's happening every single day, and like all of those things. And so the best thing that you can do to start is to follow Palestinians, because like they're going to lead you to more information and resources and all of those things. People have said that like giving donations right now is not the most important thing, because like there's nothing that's actually getting in, and I don't exactly know when this video is going to go up, but like I unfortunately don't expect that to change in the next few days. There are some things that a lot of people have been saying are important, so obviously there's protests if that is something that you can do. Second of all, there is like calling or emailing your representatives in the government. Obviously this is gonna be different for whatever country you live in. But that is one thing. And another thing that a lot of people have been talking about is boycotts. There is also the BDS movement that I'm also going to link down below, where they are basically all about, like, they have said that boycotts work and they make a difference. The only thing is, a lot of people online are talking about like McDonald's and Disney and Starbucks as like some of the main things, which obviously it is amazing if you can boycott as many companies as you can. At the same time, the BDS movement actually focuses on boycotting like 6 or so of the companies that fund and support Israel the most. So, you know, if every single person boycotts the same thing, obviously it's going to be more impactful than if like a lot of people boycott a lot of different things. I was just like looking at that, and the like McDonald's, Starbucks and all that stuff like is something that I normally do, so like I can boycott that, but then the main companies that were actually mentioned, I actually don't use, which, you know, I'm glad, but I was like, if I don't boycott it, I'm not doing anything. And so I was just like trying to figure out what I can do besides that, and I was just like, you know what, if there is one thing that I can do, it is to read books and find books and talk about those books, specifically obviously books by Palestinian authors, and not just like about the history or whatever, but just like normal books, poetry books, fiction, and like all of those things. And so I did start like a Goodreads shelf of books by Palestinian authors that I've been trying to add some things into. Please, if you have any recommendations or anything like that, please tell me in the comments down below. So I will link that down below as well. And I do also just want to talk about some of these books and read these books with you. So obviously, I will read some of the like shit that I talked about, but I do also want to read these books because I obviously don't want to just read them now. I want to read them, you know, forever, but I also do want to read it now. So one book that I absolutely do want to read is called Dear God, Dear Bones, Dear Yellow by Noor Hindi, and this is a poetry collection that is supposed to be like about politics, drama, on art, and what it takes to change the world, and like colonialism, patriarchy, and everything in between. I've been trying to find new poetry collections, so I really want to read that. And so another one that I have here is called Salt Houses by Hala Alian, and it says that it follows 3 generations of a Palestinian family and asks us to confront that most devastating of all truths: you can't go home again. I have another book that is like a YA contemporary romance that I did hear about before, but I did not know that the author is Palestinian American, and that is Don't Read the Comments by Eric Smith. So I'm pretty sure the main male character in this shares the exact ethnicity that Eric Smith has. And it is about 2 teen gamers who find their virtual worlds and blossoming romance invaded by the real world issues of trolling and doxing in the gaming community. Another thing that I actually want to mention is that Diana Quincy, who is a historical romance author, I do have one of her books physically at home I can show you later, but she writes historical romance, and she is actually Palestinian American, and the romances are like very angsty and fun and steamy and all of that, so obviously have to mention her as a romance reader. And another thing that I want to mention that I don't know why, I just like saw the book and I was just like, I feel like I'm going to absolutely love it. I'm not going to read that now because like I can't have access to it right now, so I'm going to have to buy a physical copy when I get back to Edinburgh, but that is called Sunback Beneath Unlikely Skies. I'm sorry if I said that wrong, and it's by Heba Hayek. And this, I don't know, when I saw the description, and I also love this cover, I thought it was poetry at first, but I think it's described that it says that these tender yet brutal vignettes on a girlhood in Gaza, Palestine, filled with honey and warmth. And I do think, obviously, as it is with like every single movement against racism, oppression, and everything, that people often point out the fact that we can't just learn about the trauma, but we also need to support the joy and love and like the things in life that are good. And so I do want to find some books that are actually about the hope and everything, because like it is really hard obviously to like have hope when things get so bad. And so this sounds like it will have a lot of hope in it, and it says that it is written for those who had to leave, and it's collected remembrances of a childhood in Gaza by a woman far from Palestine's sun and sea. And I don't know, like I just feel like it says that it's a lot about women in the face of colonial occupation and patriarchy, and the power of community care and of loving what's not meant to be loved. Her reflections reveal the intimate magnificence and quiet devastation of everyday life: a family drive on the shore, waxing for the first time with aunties, or peeling oranges while waiting at a checkpoint. So it just sounds absolutely beautiful. So I definitely want to buy this book as soon as possible. And another one that is very different, but also I want to buy as soon as I can is Something More by Jackie Kalilia, and this is another YA contemporary romance, and it has Palestinian Canadian representation and also autistic representation, and I think it's just supposed to be like a fun romance, like first love type of a story, and I absolutely love the cover. And so I absolutely want to read that. So I think that's all that I'm going to talk about right now. And I did actually read a book yesterday that is a children's book, and it's called Halal Hot Dogs by Susanna Azaz and illustrated by Parwinder Singh. And that is like a children's picture book. And I always feel a little bit weird when I read books like that on my own without a child. But you know what? Who cares? First of all, why not? And if I one day have kids, you know, I'm gonna have a little collection of books that I can read with them. It was still like such a cute, wholesome story. I know that maybe not every adult wants to read picture books, but if you have a child, you know, you can read that with them. It's about this Palestinian American boy and his family, and he's just, you know, living a normal day, and it's about food and the halal hot dogs and like all of that. If you like books about food, and it's just like about family, and there's like a lot of subtle traditions included in the story, and it is just like a beautiful, sweet, joyful book. So I did read that yesterday, and yeah, so I think that's all I'm going to talk about right now, because this update has been super long, but I do want to read these books as we go and beyond. Obviously, before I go, I do want to mention I have not learned enough about it yet to be able to talk about it in detail, but I did start seeing people on TikTok talk about the fact that there's also genocide happening in Sudan and Congo. And so I'm going to try to find resources on that as well to link down below. Again, like, I don't fully know anything about that yet, just like a few things. So I don't know how we can help when it comes to that. But obviously with every single thing, it helps to just start talking about it, to share the posts about it, and to tell your friends and family, and like just do whatever you can. Obviously not everyone can do everything, but like every single action matters. And I feel like, I don't know, for a while, I am someone who cannot stand confrontation, but when it comes to these giant important things, like, I am always going to choose to speak up. It is always worth it to fight for human rights and like against colonialism and racism and any kind of oppression and like all of those things. So that has been a very long speech. I hope it made some sense. And I will talk to you very soon. This is just a super quick update. I'm about to go get my hair done. I'm so ready. I have gone like this year the longest without getting it done in a while, and it's been like over half a year, and it's basically like my natural hair at the top and then this like super faded red situation, and you know, it's fine, but I'm bored and I miss my like purple bright color, whatever. So we're also gonna trim it a little bit, and I cannot wait. So I'll see you with my new hair. Hey everyone, so it's been a few days and this is my hair. I feel like I need to film this quick little clip before I leave so that it's in the daylight, but it's actually once again not showing the color super accurately. Like, it just looks different in like every single lighting. But this is my hair. You can at least see the length. Maybe I'm gonna insert some different pictures or whatever, but I'm so happy. I feel like myself again, and I need to go because I have a little adventure with my dad today. But I'll talk to you tonight because I have read some things, so I'll talk to you about that in the evening.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. We can do nothing at all. So what? If you're stupid, then you know there's nothing wrong. But you and me got a whole other meaning. I don't know how.
everyone. So it is still the same day and I'm home and I'm here to give you the reading updates. So like I said, it's been like 4 days. I just haven't really felt like filming, and I have, however, been reading. And so the first book that I read is, I think, one that I mentioned. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did mention it. That is the Dear God, Dear Bones, Dear Yellow by Noor Hindi. I think Heidi wants to leave me. So this is a poetry collection and it is available on Scribd if you have that, and that is basically like my main source that I can use to read books if I can't buy them physically. I absolutely loved this poetry collection. It is about so many things. It's about the author's experience being a Palestinian American and living in the diaspora and what it means to be a Muslim woman in the United States, and about politics and identity and home and belonging and all of those things. And it is just such a beautifully written and impactful collection. I feel like it's interesting because like I normally read modern day poetry the most. I don't really like classical poetry out of what I've read so far. Obviously there's like a lot. And so normally at the same time, I don't like a lot of the modern day poets. And so I have a very specific thing that I like when it comes to the writing. And I feel like the writing, now Isaac wants to leave me. Anyway, the writing in this book is just like so lyrical and descriptive, and I absolutely loved it. And at the same, I feel like this is definitely a poetry collection that has really great storytelling. I feel like it made me realize that normally the poetry that I read is a lot about feelings and not really about specific experiences. And this was both about feelings and specific experiences. It made me feel like I really got to see the author's story and learn about her feelings and her life through the poems. And they're just like absolutely so beautifully written, and I highly, highly recommend you read it. She does not have any other collections. There's one that I think is like one poem or like a chapbook, which I actually don't know what it means. I think it's like a short poetry collection that might have like 10 poems or something, I'm not sure. So I'm happy that I found it and I absolutely loved it, and I will absolutely read the author's other poetry collections when they hopefully come out. I haven't been able to find any good poetry collections in a while, and this was just incredible. And please let me know if you have any poetry collections because I always need more. And then I did read The Duke Gets Desperate by Diana Quincy. I have 2 books that I haven't read by her yet, and this is one of them. And this is like a hate to love book that has a trope I've been seeing quite a lot lately, which is basically like the 2 main characters in the romance think that they both own a house or like a building property situation. And they like both find themselves at that house and they're like, I am the one who's supposed to live here. What are you doing here? This is my house. And at this point, I think I could do a recommendation video just with these books about this specifically. So let me know if you'd like that. As someone who loves forced proximity and the roommate trope, this is like a whole different genre of it that I think is super fun. And so we have the Duke and this actually Palestinian American woman who basically her cousin passes away and leaves her this whole castle. And so she comes there and moves there for that. From America, she goes there to, you know, be at this castle and everything. And the Duke is like, I'm actually the one who inherited this place. What are you doing here? And so for a while, they like both live there at the same time. And it is so entertaining and it's so fun. I absolutely love Raya, the heroine. She is basically like a businesswoman. She had a business in New York, and that kind of like her brother like kind of took her out of the business, and so basically she is so excited to have this castle and restore it and like find a way to make money to be able to restore it and all of that. And I absolutely loved that. It felt modern while still being true to, you know, like the historical time and whatever. And I loved it. If you normally, I have been sadly finding out that I don't actually like enemies to lovers that much. It has to be done in a very specific way, and there is quite a lot of like the enemies to lovers in here. Like they do keep kind of like bickering and fighting, and even when it like gets better, it gets worse again. So if you like hate to love and like the forced proximity owning the whole place together thing, you need to read this. Like, if you feel like books normally don't have enough of the hate to love for you, you need to read this. It is very angsty, fun, and steamy, and also again, if you love independent, badass heroines, you need to pick this book up. And I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. I did not like the conflict, which I know I say all the time. I need to like, I don't know, maybe stop caring that much about it, but I mean like never actually ruins a book for me, but like, you know, I honestly don't know what to read next. I feel very weird when it comes to reading. So we will see. I do think that like the fall situation, I'm just like, I can't focus on that much right now. So I think, I don't know. I do have one book that I've been wanting to read around Halloween. It's actually Halloween tomorrow, which is The Tenant by Katrina Jackson. So I am like halfway through and I'm going to finish that. Which is a very interesting book. It's basically like a paranormal romance that has a very funny vibe. So we have Noel, the hero, who basically also actually inherits a house. And so he's 26 and like he's very lost in life, and he just like is struggling in many different ways. And so he inherits this house that's like in a different state and everything. And so he goes there to Alexandria, Louisiana. And he is excited that he's not going to have to pay rent. And then he finds his house and it's like a fucking... It is not in a good state. And he's like, you know, I can't live here like easily. And so he has to do a lot of repairs and whatever. And... then he's like at this house and he's like, you know what, I feel like this house is really creepy and it is definitely haunted. And so then we have the heroine who is a ghost and is haunting this house, and she says that the family of the hero stole the house from her in like 1930 or something. And yeah, so it's very interesting. And I like so far, even at the point that I am, there's no romance, like, not really, because they still have not, like, actually seen each other. It's not one of the paranormal romances where they, like, where it's a ghost, but, like, you can see them, you know? That's not the case right now. I have no idea how it's gonna get to that. And I do feel like since it is a novella, I wish that they did meet at this point. Because, like, you know, I just want to get it, you know, I wanted to get to the point. But I think if you're someone who likes novellas with, like, a lot of plot, not just the romance or whatever, I think it works. At the same time, I do think it's gonna, like, get into that soon. Because, like, I love Katrina Jackson. She writes amazing romance. So I do need to let Heidi out of my room. And I think the last thing that I actually want to tell you is I read a whole another book. I wasn't sure if I should tell you about it because it is a Christmas book. But who cares? I actually think this will be out after Halloween anyway. And that is Time to Shine by Rachel Reed. And I had an arc of this, and so I had to just finally review it even though it's late. And it is a adult sports romance, and oh my god, it is absolutely incredible. Like, I will definitely like mention it in a recommendation video for Christmas books or whatever. And I like, oh my gosh, so it's a sports romance and it's Grumpy Sunshine. We have Landon and Casey, and Landon is the grumpy one, or he's not even like super grumpy, he's more like quiet and reserved. and he moves to this town to join their hockey team, and one of the like popular players is immediately super like friendly to him, and he's like talking to him as if they've known each other for ages, and they're like, they start being friends and they do move in together. So again, we have a roommates trope, the best thing ever. They're living together and they become friends, and then it slowly blooms into more, and it's just like such an emotional, romantic, incredible story. I always forget just how well Rachel Reed builds not only like the physical chemistry but like the emotional connection, and it like dives deep into mental health, and like the relationship feels so safe and beautiful and loving and caring, and it is just so wonderful. So it feels heartwarming in so many ways, and it feels cozy and lovely, and I absolutely recommend you read it in Christmas time or in the winter and whatever. So that is another thing that I read. So I will figure out what to read next, and I will see you probably tomorrow.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you.
Hi everyone, so I am once again here with a cart update. And once again, I'm going to try to make this quick because the light keeps turning on and off. Just like that. But anyways, oh god. Anyway, yeah, I'll make this short. So I finished The Tenant, and it was like, I don't even know where to begin with what this book is. Like, even like, I don't know, the genre, or like, it is like a paranormal romance, and I have a cat hair on my camera. I thought I got rid of that. Okay, I hope you can't see that. Oh my lord. Yeah, you know what? This still has the like Halloween vibe, even though it is November 1st now, but it is like a ghost story where the heroine is a ghost who has haunted this house because a lot of people harmed her in a lot of ways, and it is like an incredibly interesting book, and for a novella it is so well developed that like I was just like in awe, and is definitely not a romance. Like, don't go into it expecting a romance. It ends up being sort of a romantic entanglement in the weirdest way, but I think you just need to go into this book without knowing much about it and just let it surprise you. And it has some flashbacks to, like, the 1930s. It dives into what it was like to be a black person living in the 1930s in, like, a, little neighborhood in a small town in the South, and all of that. And so it even dives into that, and so it has that, and then this, like, cool, ghostly heroine that is, like, very cool and unique, and, like, I don't even know how to describe her, and it's just like so cool. It is so unique and interesting that, like, obviously Halloween is over now or whatever, but like if you want a cool paranormal book, definitely read it, or if you don't want to read it now, add it so we can read it next year, because like I will definitely recommend this next year for like Halloween time. So that was very cool, and I think I'm actually gonna keep doing this vlog. I thought I would like end it soon, but I think I'm gonna keep doing it until I go back to Edinburgh, because like there's like 3 days, 2 days, technically 2.5. I did start an audiobook called The Notorious Lord Knightley by Lauren Heath, but I can't tell you much about it because I read like 15 or 20%, so that's that. But this lighting is not good for this, but I bought a book today. I was not gonna do that. I was more stupid than not to buy it today, because but I don't care. I will fit it into my backpack, and I bought this. It is Iris Kelly Doesn't Date by Ashley Hiram Blake, one of my most anticipated books of the year. I don't think I'm gonna read it in this video. I need to take this with me, because like I don't want to not do that, but at the same time I do really want to read it. Love the series so much, and I can't wait to read this book. I'm pretty sure it should be the last book in the series. It is standalones, but they are like quite a bit connected, and I've just been loving the characters, and I cannot wait to see Iris's story in this. And I don't remember the tropes, but I know I'm excited for this. I also adore this cover. Sorry again about this trash lighting. I'll talk to you soon.
Turn this room, turn it to an ocean. Let me float around. Eyes closed, like we're dreaming even when we're not. You and me got a whole other meaning, I don't know how. You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. We can do nothing at all. So what? If you're stupid, then you know it's nothing wrong. You and me got a whole other meaning, I don't know how. You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now.
Hi everyone, so it has once again been a few days and I'm reunited with my bookshelves. I'm back home. I just had my flight yesterday and I'm here to give you some final updates and to wrap it up. I originally wanted to do at least 2 videos, but then I just wanted to focus on being present and I could not really focus on reading, and so this video might be quite long, but I hope it's been, you know, enjoyable anyways. But I am here with, I don't have a lot of updates. I started a Christmas novella called Trick Shot by Kayla Gross, and it is so fun. It is polyamorous. It's Christmassy. I haven't finished it yet, but I do think it's a great little steamy novella if you want to start reading Christmas things. And then I finished the historical romance that I'm pretty sure I mentioned to you, The Notorious Lord Knightley, and I also read a poetry collection on my flight. So the historical romance, The Notorious Lord Knightley, was very fun. It is like basically it's second chance. They were supposed to get married and he left her on the day of their marriage and said that he had to just break off the engagement. And so she, you know, obviously was heartbroken, and she didn't want to have anything to do with him ever again, but they're reunited like 4 years later. And she's basically the anonymous author of this scandalous, like sexy memoir series situation where it's like about this Lord K, and some people think that it's about Lord Knightley, which of course it is. And so she has this like secret identity, but he knows that it's her. And so it is very fun. If you like second chance romance, I definitely recommend it. It is angsty and swoony and sexy and fun. And I just love Lauren Heath, and it is like very, I gave it like 4.5 stars, because like they have so much separation, and obviously she's like very angry at him for a good reason, but we see why, you know, he did it and everything, like and there's like a lot of separation. And Regina, the heroine, she also like basically wants to marry someone so that her daughter has like a less scandalous life than she did, because she was basically like an illegitimate child and all that stuff. So it has the secret baby trope, which I don't think is a spoiler considering that like it happens very early on and we know that it's Knightley's child. So I hate when there's romance. I hate when in romance there's like another person involved, especially when they're there a lot. But I did love the ending and how it all wrapped up and came together. And overall, it was just like such a wonderful historical romance. Again, if you like second chance, like they had such a strong connection and the pining was just absolutely wonderful. So yeah, and the poetry collection that I read is I Used to Be the Sun by Valeria Eden, which I've been wanting to read for ages. And I finally found it on Scribd and I just inhaled it yesterday and I loved it. It is like a deeply personal poetry collection that dives deep into heartbreak and things around that, and that is something that I love reading poetry about. And I am so happy I'm like re-entering my poetry era because, like, again, I think I mentioned that I've been struggling to find good ones, and this was wonderful, so I highly recommend it. But speaking of poetry collections, I saw Nikita Gill tweet about, basically the tweet was just like Palestinian poets that you should read from. And I think like a few of them I already knew. I think one of them was Noor Hindi that I read from in this video, but then there's many others. So I'm just gonna show you this tweet if you want to take a screenshot or something of the poets there. And I don't know if I mentioned, I think I mentioned Scribd in here, that it actually has a lot of the books that I've talked about available on there. And I found one of them, and I have the limit right now, again, that like I've read way too much this month already. And so I have to wait for a bit, but one of them that is on there that I love the cover and it sounds wonderful and was who Nikita Gill mentioned. I also absolutely adore Nikita Gill, and she's actually my favorite poet. She is not Palestinian herself, but she is an incredible poet that I would also recommend just as a, you know, a poet. So one of the authors on there is Naomi Shihab Nye, which the collection that I saved specifically is Cast Away, Poems for Our Time. And I love this cover. I feel like it's quite unique for a poetry collection. Like normally it looks different. And another book by this poet is called Everything Comes Next, collected in new poems, which I also absolutely love this cover. I think I like this one even more. So these are both available on Scribd, and I absolutely want to read them. And I didn't find the other authors on there. I do know that Fadiuda is on there because I did already read 2 of his poetry collections. But I can't really see the others because like when it limits, I can't like see what all is on there. But either way, obviously you can also buy the books normally if you can, and you know, so that will be it for this video. But I do actually want to point out one thing that as I was editing this video, I noticed that one thing that I did that so many people do in the news and everyone, and I also automatically did that because I feel like so many of us have seen it so much that we automatically say that, is that I said that there is genocide happening in Palestine, and I think that's like the exact words that I used. And obviously genocide does not happen on its own somehow, and I should have said that Israel is committing genocide in Palestine, and I think it is automatic, again, because so many news media like walk around the fact, like use the passive voice without naming Israel. Even UN itself has not said that Israel killed some of their own people in Gaza and all of that. And so like I just wanted to clarify that, and I, you know, urge you to do your own research and make sure not to believe everything that you see at first sight. Actually think about it and look through it. And one thing that like is honestly terrifying, that is, I feel like, quite a new thing that makes this even scarier, is like the use of AI and the fact that there's some images that are generated with AI. So do like, you know, there's a lot of resources. I don't remember that right now from the top of my head, but I do know there's one website that like recognizes AI. So if I can find that, I'll link that down below as well. Another thing, obviously, that I already said is just like, do not stop fighting for Palestine, and not right now, but forever, until they are freed. And it is absolutely horrible and heartbreaking that since I started this video 2 weeks ago, no one has helped, like no government, like no one has stepped in, and there's still no ceasefire, which is like the least that anyone could ask for. And the fact that that's even a question is like unbelievable. And so it's only gotten worse and not better in the time that I've been filming this video. And so please listen to Palestinian people documenting everything in real time, and just like don't give up and don't stop fighting for them, because we can't give up. Like, it is the least we can do to fight for them and to speak up and to boycott and all of those things. Like, obviously not every single person can do everything. Like, not every single person can go to protest and boycott every single brand, you know, but like what we can do, we should do, you know. And so I do need to go now, but I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I don't know if it was like kind of chaotic or, you know, but I mean, obviously I was really happy to visit my family, and I'm really grateful that I could do that, and I will go now. But thank you so much for watching. Please educate yourself and keep speaking up for Palestine, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!